Hey there guys, in today's video I am going to show you how to build your very own platform perch for your bird, for your small animal, anything else you may want to give this to. So if that is something you are interested in seeing, you want to make sure to stick around because that's going to be coming up right after this. Guys, this is Jack over at Hi Red Bird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about building a platform perch. Now, a platform perch, or a ledge perch, as it's sometimes called, is basically just a flat place that you can give your animal where they can sit or perch. I always encourage you guys to use a different diameter, different sizing for your perches to give your birds the ability to exercise their feet. And a flat surface that they can walk on, fully extending those feet, is going to be enormously beneficial. You got to remember that in a bird cage setup, there's typically not anywhere that is completely flat. Even the bottom of the enclosure is typically covered with a grate, which means that your bird can wrap their toes around that. This is going to give them just one more way that they can exercise their feet. Now, I am building this for a bird, but I do want to point out that you could easily build something like this for things like rodents, ferrets, all sorts of small animals could benefit from this as well. So if you guys are going to make this for your animal, go ahead, leave me a comment down in the comment section, letting me know what type of animal you are building this for. Now, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into how we're going to put this together. All right, guys, so building a platform perch is incredibly easy and straightforward. You're just going to need a couple of things. The first thing is something to be your perch. Here I am using a piece of 2x6 untreated pine. Untreated pine is one of my favorite things to use for bird perches. A 2x6 at 12 inches long. This is a size that I'm pretty comfortable with. If you go much bigger than this, you're probably going to need even more hardware. But with a 2x6, 12 inches long, I've had good luck with just using hardware at 2 points. So you are going to need some sort of marking utensil, a pencil, a pen. Basically, hold this up to your cage and figure out the bar spacing. You want to make sure that the 2 points that you pick are going to fit in between the bars. Now, the reason I say you're going to have to try this out, everybody's going to have a different cage. Every cage is going to have a different bar spacing. Obviously, the bar spacing between a budgie cage and a macaw cage is going to be significant. So just make sure you measure this out to your size enclosure. You are also going to need some hardware. So here I have all stainless steel hardware. We're going to have some hanger bolts. Now, hanger bolts are really fun because they do have a pointed end. That's what will be going into the wood. And then they have a flat end. That's the part that we will be attaching our other hardware to hold this into place. Now, for each hanger bolt, you are going to need 2 stainless steel washers. These are going to slide right on there when that is in place. One on the inside of the enclosure, one on the outside of the enclosure. Now, a couple things you want to know about your washers. You want to make sure the inner diameter is going to be big enough to accommodate your hanger bolt. You want to make sure that that slides right on. You want to make sure that the outer diameter is going to be wider than your bar spacing. If it's not going to hold on to anything. So you're going to need a set of 2 stainless steel washers for each hanger bolt that you are going to install. So like I said, here I'm doing 2, but if you were going to do 3 hanger bolts, you would need 3 hanger bolts, 6 washers. And then we're also going to need some stainless steel wing nuts in order to put this into place. You just want to make sure that the wing nuts are the same diameter and the same thread count as the hanger bolts. You can have some that are the same diameter, but if it's not the same thread count, it won't thread on there. But that is all you need in terms of hardware. I am also going to be using a drill, and I will say you don't need it, but I highly, highly recommend using a drill bit in order to pre-drill the holes for your platform perch. Now, I know a lot of people can get a little bit anxious about choosing the proper size drill bit to pre-drill your holes. So what you want to remember is any size drill bit, if it is smaller than the hanger bolt that you are installing into this perch, any size drill bit will help you do that easier, do that without cracking the wood. Now, a little trick, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the measurement of this drill bit is, and you don't need to know that either. If you wanna go ahead, hold your hanger bolt in your hand, hold the drill bit directly in front of it. If you can see the threads coming out on either side of that drill bit, that means that'll be a good size. If you use a drill bit that is bigger than your hanger bolt, obviously there's not gonna be anything for your hanger bolt to grab onto. So I am gonna go ahead, just install this into my drill, and then I'm just going to pre-drill these holes. All right, I installed one, but then I realized that the camera angle wasn't very good for you guys to see it. So we'll go ahead and go on this one. We have our pre-drilled hole. Now, the easiest thing to do is to just load your hanger bolt like it is a drill bit. You wanna make sure that you go slow. You don't want, when it is tightening, for the drill to strip the threads of the hanger bolt. You want to make sure that the point is facing out, because that's what's going to be going into our perch. And once you have that all set up, we're just going to drill this into place. Now, once you have that as far in as you want it, all you're going to do is release. So again, take your time on this. You don't want to damage the threads of that. And you want to make sure that they are pretty even. So as you guys can see, this perch, or this hanger bolt, is sticking out a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab onto that, tighten that a little bit more, and then I'll be right back to show you guys how that all comes together. All right, so now we have our hanger bolts in. They're in at an even depth. So all we're going to do is we're going to put on our washers. Now, 2 washers, those will go on the inside of the enclosure. 2 that'll go on the outside. They will sandwich together and basically hold on to the wire. And then we're just going to take our hanger bolts and just tighten those down. And that really is all that goes into putting this together. Now, obviously, if you guys want to put it in your bird's enclosure, it'll probably work a little bit better. But you can see it'll hold on to the wire right there on the sides, and it'll give you a nice platform perch for your bird. All right, guys, so as you can see, it really is that simple. One thing I want to point out, because I know I've had people try to build things like this, and they'll get a little concerned if one of the hanger bolts is a little bit higher than the other, if that means that the perch is going to lean ever so slightly. And it might, and that is completely fine. That would be something that your bird would encounter in the wild. I've seen birds where I can put it this way, and something like an umbrella cockatoo will just grab on and walk up this perch sideways. So it's all about thinking about different ways that you can provide things for your animals, and I can guarantee you, if you don't try it, you're never going to get to all of the really cool things that you can make on your own. Now, one thing I do want to point out, that platform perches, while they are really, really cool, if you are not making a lot of them, the cost of the materials needed can be a little bit prohibitive, because I bought an 8-foot length of 2x6 in order to make perches, which means I'm making 8-foot long perches. Some people who have only one bird at home, maybe they don't need platform perches. So that's definitely something to consider, because there are plenty of bird companies, toy manufacturers that will make you platform perches as well. And if you don't see them on their websites, go ahead and ask them, because unless you ask people for particular products that you need, companies aren't going to know what it is that bird owners want. Now, if you guys do decide to make this, I would love to see it. So, if you have not already liked the Hi Redbird group on Facebook, I encourage you guys to do that, because one of the good things about that group is we can share items like this. So if you have made this perch, do me a favor, go over to the Hi Redbird group on Facebook, share that picture so everyone else can see all of the fun things that we are putting together. I do want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. I do need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Redbird on Patreon, or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!